Okay, if you like new spiritual terms, metaphysical stuff, philosophy, listen up. Plasma consciousness synergy, what is it? So basically, I have a theory, just like we have a mom and a dad, even if we have a different family, we were made from a mom and a dad, that is how we are spiritually. There's not just consciousness, there's not just a father, there is a mother. And her name is plasma. Yes, the fourth state of matter, plasma. That is how it shows up in this reality, in this three-dimensional reality. But plasma is also higher dimensional in a fourth and fifth dimension. I'll explain. I know it sounds woo-woo, but it actually is really interesting and kind of grounded. You're like, what? So there's consciousness, which we'll explain, and then there's plasma. They feed back off each other in a synergetic relationship to create the human experience, or what you could call the child. So plasma, being the divine feminine in the third dimension, is lightning. It's the aurora borealis. It's that little plasma ball you see at the store Spencer's and old malls if you're over 30. In the fourth dimension, which is a state of mind, or I don't really know what to call it, a state of something. It's a plane of existence. It is the realm of emotions. It is chaotic. It is like a purse that has everything lost and jumbled in there, and your consciousness has to feedback with it to order the items in it. You can compare it to the collective unconscious, like Carl Jung. And it is the bridge between the third dimension and the fifth dimension, which is where we get intuition, your higher self, higher intelligence, imagination. There are these very higher, refined aspects of plasma. It is more neutral there. Our consciousness can also feedback with that, which is how we have intuition. But, so let's say someone passes away. They go to the fifth dimension. You can call it heaven, you can call it whatever you want. 5D plasma. How do we reach them? How do we get those synchronicities? How do we get our intuition and imagination from there? It can't just go right from 5D to 3D. What helps anchor it is our emotions. It's that fourth dimensional bridge, that fourth dimensional plasma, that dark plasma, the collective unconscious. That gives each of those things that are not as separated anymore, it gives them personality, gives them emotional anchors to filter into this three-dimensional space. How a spirit can visit us is they can visit us through these feelings and emotions that come down through this fourth dimensional space. It can come into our world as actually seeing a spirit. It can come as seeing synchronicities. Like, your dad always comes to you as a bird, like mine is going to. And you see that bird. That association is made possible from a fourth dimensional space of thoughts, of emotions. Consciousness can travel through all of these plasmas, which is why I say in my book I'm writing that plasma is the vehicle for consciousness. One can't exist without the other. Plasma would be like a house of mirrors, just looking at itself but not really reflecting on anything. It would be madness. And consciousness, just as consciousness, would be no receptive. There would be no mirror. It would be like a bunch of people talking at each other, or a bunch of people listening but no one talking. Either way, it doesn't work. You need both. You need a listener and a talker. You need clay and you need a molder of the clay. These work together in our third dimension, in our fourth dimension, and our fifth dimension. If we astral project with our consciousness, we go into the fourth dimensional plasma, which is why we can create our own reality, because our consciousness is using that plasma consciously. Usually when we're dreaming and sleeping, we're in the fourth dimensional space, but we're not conscious of it. So we're just seeing a bunch of crazy shit. That is all from our own emotions. Isn't it starting to make sense? In my book, this makes way more sense because I'm not just blabbing like I am now. This is a sneak peek at one of the pages of my book. This is my first draft. Be kind. So plasma consciousness synergy. This is the main feedback loop that our multidimensional self and current self, which is me now. Think of Danica, stop. Sorry. Think of our multidimensional self is in that fifth dimensional space, or your higher self, and your current self is you in the 3D reality. So your current self uses consciousness and plasma as tools. Their dynamic interaction helps us bridge dimensions, create reality, explore, and transform. It's how we evolve and experience, which is the whole point of why we're here. Someone made this thing, and they're beyond the duality of plasma and consciousness. That is what I call the mystery. So one thing I write about, reality creation. When consciousness is the observer, plasma exists in a state of potential. When consciousness focuses its attention, it collapses this potential. in form, creating tangible 3-dimensional experiences, or 4-dimensional like lucid dreaming, or 5th-dimensional meditation or bliss, or when you get downloads. When consciousness is a creator, that interrupted me. When consciousness is a creator, emotions, beliefs, and intentions serve as frequencies that imprint on the plasma field, shaping its structure. This is akin to programming plasma with specific patterns that manifest in this physical world. As I said, an example would be pulling your intuition from 5D through the emotional substrate of 4D, guiding your actions and decisions in 3D. I swear it makes sense. So in my book, I explain this all in a very simple way, I promise. And I guide you through the whole book, so we don't just start with this. We start with scientific plasma, what it means in science, and then what the expanded definition is. My dog is making so many noises. Anyways, we've been talking about consciousness for forever. No one's really ever talked about this plasma. They have talked about it in other cultures like Shiva and Shakti. Shakti would be plasma, Shiva would be consciousness. There are many cultures who've talked about it, just not in this way. And I don't think that a lot of people, some have talked in a way where plasma can be applicable into your actual life using your consciousness. So I'm writing a book all about how we can actually use this plasma knowledge to live a better life, how we can apply it to our mental health, our reality, have more magical experiences. My book is coming out in, I guess, a few months, probably early summer. You can sign up for it. The link is in my bio. I also talk a lot about it on my Plasma Intelligence playlist. This is my stuffed animal I'm holding. I didn't realize I had that this whole time. Anyway, I love plasma. If you're new here, welcome to my plasma obsession. I think plasma is going to change the world. I'm one of many people with my own opinion. At the end of the day, your knowledge is inside of you. Listen to your inner soul. If this resonates, great. If it doesn't, find something that does. But always listen to yourself, your inner plasma. Bye.